Hey everybody, how you doing? My name is Calvin Nye. Welcome to Calvin Nye Comics. And I'm doing my usual stuff, so feel free to just like come in and say hi. But I'm just going to be keeping quiet and just like working on my stuff. And if you want to get tired, and if you're getting tired of me doing my stuff, I could also just like put in some like video reacts some video reacts and everything like that. And yeah, so let's get on started. And
Why
yeah.
is this one so far away? I'm not gonna.
And it's gonna kind of edit some stuff a little bit better here. Gonna turn on my TV, and then if you're bored and not like watching me or just want to chat, I'm also just gonna put in the video of this, like some stuff that I'm watching just to kill some time.
You don't want it.
They're all Terminator.
So yeah, go ahead and enjoy the stuff.
What the? There's so many.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, this was back to how it was. Now they'll probably all be turned around.
Oh God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
25 million years ago, a new species appeared on Earth.
Yes, this is where we were supposed to go. Thank you, chat, for letting me explore. You guys are the best. See, I found it out. People were scared I was gonna play this game and be a little too drunk. Nope, we're not that drunk tonight. Just wait. Christ! Okay. What the hell just happened?
Sorry, I'm.
God, stop it! Jesus! Oh my God!
Let's see here. Check the cameras real quick. Kirby. Fuck you. Fuck you, you fucking fucker. All right, what does that mean? What do I do now he's there?
Yeah,
Come over
shoot,
here,
sorry.
dude. Don't come over here, dude. You don't even know I'm in here. Ah!
Oh my fucking God, dude! I can't. Dude, this game is just trash.
Gargoyles eat coconuts. True story. True story. Okay! Oh my God!
What the fuck is this? Oh my fucking God!
Oh my fucking God! I'm done.
Oh, I just cocked myself, didn't I?
On this page, start a new journalistic investigation. I'm going to explore a town called.
Come. You don't say come closer if you need help. That's like what the witches and the fucking bad guys from Disney movies tell you. Hey, I knew it, you fucking Disney witch!
Welcome to the.
Oh, fuck me.
Oh shit! Gosh damn it, you stupid little asshole dog!
Okay. What did we just do? Oh, okay.
What are you doing?
Ow! I don't know what to say.
One impact. No, it doesn't. They're lying, bro.
Ah! Ah!
I hate this! I hate this game! I don't want to play it!
Oh my... I did not expect that at all. What the...
They're signed up for business class, Joe. Yara waiting room. Bitch, Yara's.
I love my Squarespace site's simple and beautiful design.
Fuck Squarespace.
Oh. What do you think that is?
Oh, come on! Stop it!
Ho! 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 My fucking Christ, it's actually hard to say.
Like the demon you are? Well, let me tell you about demons.
Oh yeah, I was looking at the wrong side! No!
Release me. Release me. There. There's somebody to my right! Ah!
Just some tight little booty shorts.
Is anyone there?
Hello? Mama?
So it wasn't a head that fell?
Wait, I found another, like, rusty vent. Oh my fucking god!
Alien Isolation, wasn't that a scary game, Rampage? Oh, banana. Oh my god!
Fucking shit, you fucking cock.
Maybe we could sneak to the van and just say, "Where were you, Junk? Where were you?"
Hey guys.
What? Shush, 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 shush.
Month. That's a 1 year. 1 year. Jesus Christ! What the fuck?
No way. Don't say it.
Oh! Oh, Jesus Christ!
They're under the damn ground!
This is Gamma. It's a new category of the everyday jacket. It's a combination of a lightweight everyday jacket, technical activewear, and feature-packed travel jacket. It's infused with graphene, a hard-as-diamond wonder material made of a one-atom-thick layer of super heat-conducting carbon atoms, designed to keep you cool in the summer and warm in the winter, no matter what life throws at you. Experts around the world have documented the unique properties of graphene. It's also meticulously designed to be the ultimate travel jacket. It's lightweight and easy to pack, whether in your carry-on or worn from terminal to terminal. Our built-in heater makes sure that you will always be at your optimal temperature in all environments, from airplane to forest to mountain. Gamma's pockets let you securely carry everything you need without needing to rummage through your bag. Ditch the layers in bulk that will keep you warm in the coldest winters in seconds and make Gamma the only jacket you'll ever need for work and play. Going somewhere extra chilly? Gamma can give you that extra warmth and protection against the elements in seconds. Unbreakable and durable, Gamma will never let you down. Its multi-pocket function safely secures your phone, your wallet, your keys, your passport, your transport card, and your many other possessions. Stay stylish and snug by customizing your fit with our many adjustable drawstrings and Velcros. Gamma is 100% waterproof, so you can take a stroll, jog, or hike under the rain without getting wet. Even our zippers are water resistant to keep your pockets and valuables nice and dry. Our graphene-infused material is also naturally anti-odor, wind-resistant, UV-proof, and made with breathable and non-toxic materials. Gamma is a new category of jacket perfected for work, play, and travel, without compromising function or fashion. Gamma by Wear Graphene. Back us today.
Are you ready for fun again? For the thrill of newly opened rides and the adventure of chef-curated menus with limited capacity and physical distancing? Welcome back to SeaWorld. Get great deals on annual passes for SoCal residents.
Oh my God! What the fuck is down here, bro?
I said so.
Andy, come here.
Oh,
fuck!
Oh fuck!
What
the fuck? It was actually,
That was so loud. That was so loud.
Oh my God.
Bro, that was so.
Did you hear that?
I was.
Did you hear
So... So they, okay. Oh my God, no.
Alright.
3.
Yes!
2. 1.
Rocky except for go 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 gotta go. That's the first time I got scared in the game. That's the first time I actually got scared.
You can't cross this, it's water. It's like lava. It's like lava, see?
We have a knife. So we should. Jeez.
I'm invisible. I want to take a shot on him.
Stance where he's like got his arm in his
Arm on it,
you guys.
Oh.
Help me!
Help! Someone!
Okay.
Oh! Oh my fucking God!
What the fuck is that?
I want to leave. I want to leave now.
I'll be right
I don't
back.
like it in here.
Let's meet at the tower.
Okay, I found a way out. Thank God. Fuck you, little spider. Ah! Oh God!
Whoa! Fucking! Oh my God, my back hurts. Oh, you bastard!
Save them.
What's up here?
Oh!
A shoe. A quite nice shoe. That scared the hell out of me.
A red shoe. Oh my fucking God. Fuck the hell, I can't move!
To get in there. Whatever happened. I hope it's not my fault.
I'm sorry.
Am I delusional?
The extra mile. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. And backed by the one-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded out there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Ground a whole lot too, because otherwise I'm gonna end up.
Are you fucking kidding me, you little bitch? Fuck you!
Where?
Just let me take a bite.
Oh. What the fuck was that?
I don't know, but I'm
Oh, I hate that. Oh, I hate that.
That really got me. Holy shit.
Or got tickled or something.
People died.
It's a really scary game.
People died, Chance.
Man, guys, that's actually pretty scary.
Oh.
How did I end up back here?
I'm back upstairs again. Or not. Oh, hey. How's it going? Oh, okay. I wasn't expecting that. I really wasn't.
Well, you think I could if I tried it? You think it would work?
Dude, all the lights are broken. What? Oh my God, it's behind me! No, no. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
Which one is it for? Ow! Oh hell no! No! No!
Come here.
What's up? What's up?
Come here. I want you to take a look. You see my? I want you. Oh fuck! Oh my God! Oh my God! I thought you were. Oh my God! I thought you were fucking over there, and I just heard in your head was just sitting. Oh my God! It was the worst.
Cook.
Hey, Flutie, thank you, dude.
Yo, get pushed.
Ah! Oh, these are ants. There were rad roaches, but these are also some ants. I mean, they're not big enough ants for me to be scared of them or anything. I'm gonna kill them with this mace, but come on. Yeah.
I scurry away.
It's too loud. Oh my, that hit.
I'm being trolled. Am I dead? I'm not dead. This closet is closed. No! Oh my God!
What the fuck?
Oh my God! What the?
This is a one-of-a-kind custom Tesla Model S Apex, and it could be yours. That's right, to support a great cause, Omaze is giving you the chance to win this unplugged Tesla Model S.
Oh, I kicked my desk. Oh, it hurts so bad.
Did you get their heads back?
Yeah.
Huh?
Maybe I can
Wait,
pick him up.
Put their heads back on their bodies. Does that help?
Dude, now.
Oh my God!
Holy fuck! Oh my God! Oh, good! Oh! Oh, that hurts.
Let's check out the house.
Key to the storeroom. Oh, nice. Oh God, the fuck is this? See? Oh! Holy.
Oh, that was fucking nasty.
How do I go up?
I agree with that.
Alright, I'm DC. Now what? You just tell me how to beat the game. Man, just tell me how to beat the fucking game. Ah! I can't play, man.
You laugh because you're actually scared? Me? Scared? Roll like a fucking pussy to you? Of course I'm not scared. I'm not scared of anything. I'm fucking Lucari, motherfucker. Don't shoot. Oh! Holy shit! Oh my God.
Ah! Fuck!
That was it. I had to check the turlet stat. I can't leave a turlet unchecked. Oh, Jesus!
Oh, icky.
Not moving. Someone's gonna have to go poke it.
Yep, you got it. There you go. There you go.
Oh, it just walks like 2 feet. I'm
Oh,
risking
that
it.
is a
I'm risking
weird-
it.
I told you.
He drops down and starts shooting. I'm just gonna fill the hall with bullets.
Ah! Ah! I just broke my keyboard! What the fuck? No! No, why?
So I'm reading notes from some other dude. Sounds to me like he or got tickled or something. It's a really scary game.
Today's report quota. We're good. In that case, let's check out the house.
Alright, time to get spooked.
No!
Pretty good timing.
Thing that killed me right behind the fence.
That thing?
What?
It teleported.
Oh, I did not like that.
Okay.
I see role playing Harry Potter.
I swear.
Remember when we were downstairs?
see
There
what
was a
else is on
camera on
YouTube.
here. There was a camera pointed at this thing.
Ooh, awkward moments from Twitch. Let's watch people embarrass themselves.
You actually?
Yeah.
Because like I've always wanted you to get a truck for your first car because I feel like a truck is the only thing that can handle how like big you are. Like personality wise and tall. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, because you know what I'm saying? Do you want a truck?
Isn't it true, Hess, that sometimes we finish each other's sentences?
Sentences, so we do.
Yeah.
That's true, but only when we're talking about
pussy.
That, oh,
I'm sorry.
okay,
I choked.
That was a mouthful.
Yeah,
That was a
I
mouthful.
jumped to that. I didn't know.
I'm struggling how to phrase this. Miz, when you wipe, do you moan? Thanks for sub, Rusty. Because you seem like the kind of person who would. Not in a bad way.
Guys, it's been 3.5 hours.
Maybe that's nothing.
Where are you streaming? I feel like I'm cutting into your stream time.
Just keep going.
You like it. You don't like streaming, do ya? He likes it. Eric likes the break.
I just like watching you talk to other. Never mind.
What?
Nothing.
You liked watching me talk to other guys?
What?
What? Eric. I hated watching when you were talking to other girls.
I'm just farming.
Do you not like feel anything watching? You don't like it?
I don't care about the talking to people on ePal.com. Like, I'm not worried about any of those guys.
You have no eyebrows. You should be worried.
What the hell? How did I not kill him? How many bullets, man? How many damn bullets? See, just look at that. Destroyed is better than this piece of crap.
My arm's not even sore. I don't feel like I got a COVID shot at all. Chat, I didn't get tired yesterday. I didn't get sick yesterday.
Maybe
Nothing.
You just missed.
Huh?
Did they squirt all over you when you were there, or did it actually come inside you? You know what?
What the fuck did you say?
Because, like, the shot, did it come inside you? I'm so sorry. That came out so weird. What?
A man went to the beach but forgot his lunch. What did he eat?
Fish.
A sandwich.
Wait, Ariel, do you have fake boobs? Oh.
Sorry, cut out. Oh, who asked that? Sorry. Sorry, dude, she asked the question about fake boobs and then talked about her boobs randomly growing at 18. I need to know if she like got like an extra boob. I don't know. Someone get asked the questions.
I think this just turned into a dating show. What's going on here?
I don't know who said that. You just started freaking out while you were asking the question. You just like, you just had like that little.
And then I take vitamins every day.
So Melena's very worried about like sagging, becoming loose. But Melena, I want you to know that you are still really tight.
Did I mention that my family's in the chat?
Well, they should know.
Haley treats you way differently as a female. Like when you're a female, she like just straight up ignores you. Little hoochie mama. Let's fuck her.
Wait, what happened?
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Ralph.
Bye.
Hey, we're working out.
Oh wait, this is an old one.
You are still really tight.
聞こえて言った。
あ、聞こえてる。入る。忘れ。あ、な。
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Good night.
Take that to the sink.
Guess the fart ended everything.
I kind of went to his apartment when he was sleeping, logged onto his WoW account, and I acted like it was him and had a date with the girl at the Goldshire Inn.
Oh shit! What? I went over to his girlfriend's house and logged into her account, and did the same thing.
That's
Wait,
crazy.
did we have
Wait.
a date on the MMO, pretending to be his girlfriend, and you pretend to be him? When did you do it?
I did it it's like 2 nights ago.
I
Like-
did it 2 nights ago.
What?
Are you fucking serious?
Kiss me. We have to see if it means anything.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Did it mean anything?
Oh, it means a lot more than what I thought. Keep kissing me.
You're so hot. Jesus
You're
Christ.
so fucking sexy.
Fine, bro.
I mean, this is a really long red light.
What the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with Twitch?
Melena, what the fuck?
Shut the fuck up.
Go into your own room.
Dude, he's picked up the bingo card more than anybody ever.
Eric, stop. Eric, you're hard. Why? Why do you have a boner? Why? Wait, why did Maya leave?
Do you like chat?
You were like taking over the conversation with your boring ass Eevee.
You know, all right. You start the conversation then.
Your bones are wet.
All right. Your bones are wet. Now what?
I just read on Twitter that there's a part during the cremation that the meat is perfectly cooked.
Emily, do you know what I need? I need a blowjob! Oh, you're on the phone to your mum?
Okay. I just want to check you remember the ticket. Alright, cool.
Let's go see some
Hey
disgusting
kids,
comic
who
book
wants
death.
another rousing round of looking through all the gruesome ways your favorite comic characters have died horrible, horrible deaths? No one? Well, too bad, because we're doing it again. Oh god. Yes, it's time to sift through the most grotesque, the most horrific, the most try-hard edgelord ways that comic books have viciously murdered the characters within their pages. I'm Ewan, you're watching What Culture Comics, and here are 10 more of the most disgusting comic book deaths. Number 10. Ted Kord, Countdown to Infinite Crisis. Ted Kord, after spending the entirety of Countdown to Infinite Crisis chasing after a conspiracy that only he believes is real, eventually discovers that Maxwell Lord had gone mad and taken over Organization Checkmate in order to undermine the superpowered community. Now, Ted is a super genius and a veteran hero in his own right, but he's still a super squishy human at the end of the day, so when Max captures him, he knows that all it takes to put him out to pasture is a well-placed bullet to the noggin. With Ted getting just enough time to utter 4 of the most badass final words in comics history, Maxwell Lord shoots him in the head. What gets this death on this list is how the panel where he dies shows the realistic blood spatter from the bullet, as well as the panel afterward, hyper-focusing on Ted's bloody, mangled face on the floor. Number 9. Guy Gardner, Injustice Year 2. In Year 2 of DC's Injustice series, the Green Lantern Corps decide that they've had quite enough of Superman shenanigans and bring the entire Corps down on his head to take him down. They even strip Hal Jordan of his powers when he sides with Superman. However, in comes the sneaky old Sinestro to play to Hal's anger and ego by tricking him into thinking Guy Gardner, who was basically acting like the only adult in the room to give you an idea of just how bad things had gotten by then, had murdered his girlfriend. Armed with a new yellow power ring, he kills Guy by brutally ripping off his ring arm with his bare hands. He then lets Guy, stripped of his powers from the loss of said ring, fall to the earth below. Number 8. Daredevil. Daredevil End of Days. Daredevil End of Days, an entry into the Marvel The End series and a fine bookend to Brian Michael Bendis' run on Daredevil, was one of the best comics of its year, telling the story of how Matt Murdock met his end and how the people around him dealt with the fallout. But of course, Daredevil has to actually die in order to make that interesting stuff happen, and so in comes everyone's favourite psychotic kook, Bullseye, to finally put down the man without fear. After spending years in a self-imposed exile due to murdering the Kingpin in front of several witnesses, Daredevil comes out of hiding just long enough to have one last brutal showdown with his old nemesis. The two fight all throughout the streets of Hell's Kitchen, the pair evenly matched, but Bullseye eventually gaining the upper hand. The fight ends with one of the most brutal deaths in the history of this brutal character's world, as Bullseye takes Daredevil's own billy club and rams it straight through the soft part of his skull hard enough to come out the other end, with all of Hell's Kitchen merely standing there and just watching. It's really sad. Number 7. Spider-Man. Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. One day, while Deadpool is doing his usual Deadpoolian routine, his 2 inner voices suddenly vanish and are replaced with a new one. This voice tells Wade a secret, one that is so horrifying to the Merc with the Mouth that he goes completely insane and proceeds to kill everyone in the entire Marvel Universe. There are many entries on this list that could have just come from this comic, but I managed to boil it down to just one shocking moment when Deadpool put a gruesome end to his bromance with Spidey once and for all. Spider-Man obviously takes some issues with what Deadpool is doing, and the two fight through the streets of New York. But just as it seems as though Spider-Man is about to make this a very short miniseries, Deadpool pulls a gun and blows half of Peter's face clean off, commenting that Pete's villains really should have thought of that as an attack strategy a long time ago. It's a shocking and abrupt death, not to mention gruesome, as you see blood and bits of teeth, eyeball, and other bits flying off of what remains of Spider-Man's face. Number 6. Rachel and Susie, The Walking Dead. When it comes to disgusting deaths in The Walking Dead, you really have your pick of the damn litter, as a lot of folks in this comic die, and they almost never die in a way that isn't gooey. Case in point, the twin daughters of Herschel Green, Rachel and Susie. You might know by now that The Walking Dead TV show changed a lot about several arcs in order to better fit with the storytelling medium of television. One of the most changed was the prison arc, not the least of which because of how many died in this story arc in the actual comic. Among the dead in the comic series are Herschel's twin daughters, who get viciously murdered and decapitated by antagonist Thomas. But of course, that's never the end of things in The Walking Dead, as dying is all it takes to become a zombie, so long as there's anything approaching a brain left behind. So, of course, Glenn has to then put the girls out of their misery once and for all by shooting their decapitated heads when they start groaning. Number 5. Ares. Siege. While nowhere near as impactful in the long term as some of the other big Marvel events from the 2000s, Siege still has its moments. And one of the standouts of the entire event was when Sentry ripped Ares in half. When Ares comes down to have some fun with the carnage around him, Marvel's Superman ripoff, Sentry, decides that he is not in the mood for Ares shenanigans, and so grabs him with both hands and rips him in two, from head to crotch. And of course, the moment is made complete with a nice full view of Ares' innards being everywhere, all the time, just ugh. Number 4. Iron Man, Marvel Zombies 2. I couldn't let a list like this pass me by without having at least one Marvel Zombies entry, seeing as how watching your favourite childhood heroes die horrible, screaming bloody deaths is really the only reason the series even exists. While the many sequels and spin-offs of this depraved universe gives one the pick of the litter to choose from, one of the grossest for my money is the death of Zombie Iron Man in Marvel Zombies 2. Marvel Zombies 2 takes place several decades after the events of the first comic, when the still zombified heroes, who have now become the new destroyers of worlds, suddenly begin to lose their hunger, giving them all a much-needed reality check of what the heck they've just done. A falling out ensues, a lot of folks die, but the part this entry focuses on is when the Hulk, sick to death of the other heroes, starts taking them out. For Iron Man in particular, Hulk slams his foot down on his chest, going through the armor and atomizing Tony's chest cavity. Having nowhere else to go and essentially being trapped in one giant iron sausage skin, Tony's guts shoot out of his mouth, nose and eyes, bubbling disgustingly out of his armor's eye and mouth holes. Number 3. The Punisher, Dark Reign. If you've never heard of Daken, the gist is that he's Wolverine's psychotic supervillain son who has Wolverine's powers but none of his morals. So yeah, bad dude to mess with, which is what the Punisher learned firsthand during the events of Dark Reign. When Frank Castle fails to assassinate the head of Hammer, Norman Osborn, Norman commissions Daken to deal with Frank once and for all. Daken chases Punisher to a rain-drenched rooftop where the two have a gloriously bloody and gory battle. However, skilled as he is, the Punisher is still a squishy human fighting a psychotic killer with adamantium claws, so he was only going to last so long against him. Frank's death here is probably the goriest that this notoriously gory character has ever gone out, with Daken sadistically playing with his prey, slicing off bits and pieces to toy with him before finally dismembering him completely. He then tosses the bloody remains of the Punisher off the building and into a gutter below. The weirdest part of all, it's somehow less offensive than when Punisher came back as Frankencastle immediately afterwards. Now that was wild. Number 2. The Invisible Man, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. One of the darkest moments in Alan Moore's extensive bibliography is the brutal death of Griffin from the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Now, you would think the death of someone who's, you know, invisible would be rather hard to make disgusting enough for this list, but Alan Moore finds a way. So, the setup with this is that Griffin has not only sold out the League to the invading Martian tripods, but when team leader Mina Harker goes snooping around, he beats her to within an inch of her life. And considering the terrible, terrible things he was getting up to when the League first recruited him, one could only imagine what else he would have done had Mina not gotten away. When Mr. Hyde finds out about this, he decides that Griffin's duplicitous, misogynistic shenanigans have been tolerated quite enough. He goes to where he's hiding and gives him everything Griffin gave Mina, and a whole lot worse, as he then proceeds to sexually assault Griffin for God knows how long. All we do know is that it took Griffin a long while to die, but die he did, as when Hyde sits down to eat, the blood on his shirt finally becomes visible. And number 1, the Ripper Murders, from Hell. There's no long holds on the guts and blood flying in an Alan Moore book, at least no more than is absolutely needed, and as a result, his work can often be twice as disturbing as you'd maybe expect. Nowhere is this better exemplified than in From Hell. Alan Moore and Aaron Campbell's interpretation of the failed hunt for Jack the Ripper is one of the best adaptations of those infamous events in Whitechapel, at least from a horror standpoint, due to how unflinchingly realistic it is with its depiction of the murders. We see, panel by panel, the killer methodically taking apart the woman he murders. It's truly disturbing as you see the fine surgical detail applied in murdering these poor women and then mutilating their corpses. Such a grounded depiction of such a horrifying string of murders leaves you squirming in your seat as you read, as the story forces you to watch every moment unfurl. Like, yeah, totally, go read from hell, it's amazing, but also be prepared for a lot of gruesomeness when you do. And those were 10 more of the most disgusting deaths in comic book history. Know of any others that we can add to the nightmare vault I keep underneath my desk that I can wheel out for a third video? Let us know in the comments below, and please also be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it, and to subscribe to What Culture Comics so you don't miss another upload going forward. As always, I've been Ewan, take care, and I will see you next time. Bye!
Ah, shoot. Sorry about the earthquake. Let's see. Ooh, watch Mojo.
You guys are hopeless.
This is Ashley with Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things every anime fan hates.
Answer me. Who are you?
It's Big Green!
Let that child alone.
What are you trying to do? Tickle me to death? Don't turn your back on me!
You're already dead. For this list, we'll be looking at the tropes across the anime industry that fans have come to despise over the years. Which of these conventions do you wish would just die already? Let us know in the comments, and as always, you can catch me on Twitter at AshJBo, so head over there, give me a follow, and let me know which anime list you want to see next.
I've done it. I'm Devilman.
Number 10, Incomplete Stories.
本当に
Cliffhangers are all well and good, and they can certainly be effective when hyping up the possibility for a sequel. The only problem is when that sequel doesn't show up, the whole thing feels like a slap in the face. We've seen certain shows, a lot of whom performed poorly, have money thrown at them in order to dish out sequel after sequel, and yet some of the most well-regarded anime in the medium can't get a second season.
これでいい。必ず帰るんだ。卑弥呼と一緒に。
Seriously, there's no end of fantastic anime that has just been left in the dust with no conclusion whatsoever. Number 9, bad dubs.
I got myself close to Castellon's right-hand man, Dallas.
That's so dangerous.
Not that we're gonna restart the sub versus dub wars or anything, but there is an argument to be made for the quality of a dub and how it directly relates to a watcher's enjoyment.
I've done it. I'm Devilman.
There are some incredibly talented actors in the business of providing English dubs, and on occasion they even surpass the original. But that's not always the case. Imagine someone wanting to experience a great anime with a dub that just falls way short of the original.
Answer me. Who are you?
It's Big Green!
Let that child alone.
Hell, sometimes it's not even the voice direction, sometimes it's the translations. Like when they slip in Western references for absolutely no bloody reason.
You got a stick up your ass? Or are you one of those dumbass Gamergate creep shows?
Seresto offers 8 months of convenient, effective, and long-lasting flea and tick protection, so your dog can keep playing on and on and on. More on Seresto.com.
bing bada boom. Hashtag I aim for the moon. Flashback, I zoom to the zoom and you're blocking the view. Can't see the elevation, can't see no innovation. Don't call me a fool. You see me on road, so they call me a goon. But don't make a stupid moves. Straight close enough to be cool, but run back and fight for the food.
Number 8, calling things anime when they're not.
The rumors are true.
Okay, we have an axe to grind with Netflix. Let's face it, the term anime has been abused in recent years, with Netflix making constant announcements for new anime series, which end up just being produced in America. Anime is Japanese animation. If something is anime inspired, it is not anime. This is deceptive marketing, as they're latching onto something that's already popular and appropriating the term for something completely different. We're not saying these shows are bad necessarily, but don't you think it does them more justice if they're praised as great cartoons? Have more faith in yourselves. Number 7, live action remakes. Sometimes they're fun, sometimes they're abominations. None of them are as good as the anime. Appealing to a wider audience is one thing, but more often than not, condensing an anime story into a 2-hour time frame with none of the visual wonder just diminishes the enjoyment.
What are you trying to do, tickle me to death? Don't turn your back on me!
You're already dead.
Japan themselves are pretty huge fans of doing this, and even then, barely any of their live-action undertakings are worthy of mention. So, what chance do Western versions have? Does the world really need more Dragon Ball evolutions? We think not.
Doing good.
Number 6, censorship.
I'll pummel his head flatter than the shape of the earth! Mr. Helmeppo!
Both dubs and the original are guilty of this, and while they have been implemented for the greater good on a few occasions, most of the time it's wholly unwarranted and unwanted. These can extend to removing raunchy scenes, cutting away from gore, inappropriate content, etc. It's a bit of a tightrope, since too much censorship can end up dulling what was supposed to be an intense scene, with some series going off the deep end by blacking out or filtering the mature content. Fans want it raw.
On your feet. Mr. Pegasus would like to have a few words with you.
Number 5, anime original endings.
馴染んだ。あ、楽しかったな。
Ugh, not these. Sometimes they can't be avoided due to budgetary reasons, other times they're a creative decision that benefits the anime slightly better, but most of the time they are nothing but trash. There are so many of these conclusions that either feel rushed, unsatisfying, or undermine all the effort put into the build-up.
兄さん、親ってすごいんだね。
当たり前だろ。
The real kicker is when these occur when the source material is already done, dusted, and waiting to be adapted. Number 4, terrible CGI. .3D is a tricky tool, but it has been proven to be effective in anime when used sparingly or with a high enough production quality. Take those away and what do you get? An eyesore that sucks all the fun away. We've seen it in many shows. Everything is going along swimmingly and poof, along comes a CGI monstrosity that ruins the atmosphere, doesn't gel well with the surrounding visuals, and just generally brings the whole series down. Number 3, recap episodes.
未だに信じられない時がある。僕があのオールマイトに認められ、個性を譲渡されて。
Has there ever been a bigger waste of time and effort than a recap episode? Aside from the occasional extra bit of narration, the whole thing is a clip show meant to catch fans up to date on what they had already been watching.
王子、 本当に色々ありましたね。
Maybe the odd viewer might appreciate it, but for the most part, this just seems like a way to fill a series runtime without having to do anything new. It's especially painful when it occurs so early on in the series, after only a few episodes.
頑張れよこれ。ああ、任せ。
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales service and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Live more outdoor moments. Live more now.
Number 2, low production qualities. It can be a moment, a battle, or in some instances, an entire series. But when subpar animation strikes, everything takes a plummet. Stocky character models, poor artwork, misplaced music, weak transitions, all of it is anime poison. It can take a universally loved series and make it a laughingstock. It can wreck the chances of a new series finding its feet, or it can make a terrible show a million times worse than it already is.
天才の自覚があるのね。
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Filler.
連載中の漫画にアニメが追いついてしまった時、漫画とのリーチを保つため、別ルートを通って遠回りし、再び合流するという作戦だ。
Some people will say it's a necessary evil in order to give the manga time to get ahead. Others will say that when your non-canon content starts getting its own spin-offs, then you've gone too far. Shonen are infamous for this, with some getting whole arcs filled with stories and fights that are often lackluster at best.
But if you shoot me, then you'll also have roasted kami under glass.
Would it really be so bad to just take a break and not push out garbage episodes? Just look at what happened to some of anime's biggest shonens. Those filler episodes are a permanent stain on their names, clinging to them like an anime disease. We want to pretend it's not there, but we can't. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from Watch Mojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.
This April on Paramount Plus,
I wanted to contribute.
big things are kicking off.
You always know what I need.
This is so much live coverage and live events, you'll flip out. This is critically acclaimed originals that are up to date.
It's time for some big news.
On the edge.
Don't mess with me.
And under the sea.
I love my life.
How's the FBI? You living the dream?
Just watch me. This is new episodes to make you laugh, scream, and
This is Ashley with Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 anime that caused major backlash.
誰も住んでなさそうだね。
いつも言ってんだろうが、いちいちでかい声で。
ほら、チンチン。
For this list, we'll be looking at the series that sent the internet into an uproar, unjustifiably or not. We're making sure to shine a light on some more recent examples, so if you're wondering where the likes of Goblin Slayer and Shield Hero are, be sure to go check out our previous video on the top 10 anime that caused major outrage. Did you get swept up in the controversy or just let it pass you by? Let us know in the comments, and as always, you can catch me on Twitter at AshJBo, so head over there, give me a follow, and let me know which anime list you want to see next. Number 10, Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans. For once, it's not Westerners raising hell because of something an anime did. It's concerned Japanese parents. Though, not for the reason you might be expecting. Apparently, the Japanese Broadcasting Ethics and Program Improvement Organization was flooded with complaints at how Mikazuki gunned down corrupt prison guards who had left him and his fellow orphans for dead. To us, it might have made for a great example of Mika's character and mindset, but to Japanese parents, they were worried their kids would emulate this display of aggression. Huh. Number 9, X-Arm. We've never seen a disaster of an anime that filled us with this much joy. From the moment the trailer was revealed, audiences were left in both confusion and hysterics because it looked awful. The CGI, the character models, dreadful. Then it aired, and wouldn't you know it, it exceeded all expectations with just how bad it was, what with its horrendous fight scenes and drastically conflicting art styles. How does something this bad even make it to air?
たく、お前の機械嫌いにも困ったものだ。けど、料理は上手だよな。
I'm Johnny and I represent for Ultra Sentan. Ultra, yes. I want to learn from, hey, man, I know this, you know. We got my general in the building. This is the clock. This is the clock of Ultra Sentan. No fear. Don't have no fear. I'm here. Johnny here representing for the...
Number 8, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid S. This sequel isn't even out yet, and it's already got plenty of people riled up. Why? Well, in what's becoming something of a trend when it comes to online outrage, the reveal of a new dragon character with an insane bust size has caused plenty of Twitter users to lose their rag. The main complaint stemming from how she's got a chest the size of the moon, but also appears to be on the younger side. In spite of the studio's insistence that she's of the same age as Toru, many aren't having it for some reason. Number 7, Interspecies Reviewers. Much like a dying star, this series shone too brightly.
What's that from?
展開にもスケベな店は
Oh.
あるのかなってな。
はい。
Providing pure, hilarious smutty joy for all before every broadcasting network shut it down, which was a damn shame because so many fans loved how charming the lewdness was.
どうも。ご来店ありがとうございます。
Turns out that while content such as Testament of Sister New Devil is A-okay, a parade of monster chests was a step too far. Oh well. We'll just remember it fondly as the cult classic it's destined to become.
正規性インコって飼ったことある？懐くと手のひらで交尾しだすよね、あいつら。
Number 6, My Hero Academia. 5 seasons in, and this shonen powerhouse continues to delight countless fans with its take on the superhero genre and abundance of lovable caped crusaders. Unless your name happens to be Endeavor, of course.
やめてください。まだ5つですよ。
もう5つだ。邪魔するな。
The new number 1 has been ironically starting fires on the internet, splitting the fanbase down the middle.
俺を見ていてくれ。
Due to the abuse he inflicted on his family, some despise him with a passion and abhor the narrative's attempt to redeem him in any capacity, while others seem more willing to forgive. We haven't seen the end of this yet, and it's likely to get a lot worse as the anime plays catch up. Brace yourselves. Number 5, Nissan Commercial. It may not be a series, but it certainly left a lot of people fuming. You see, the folks behind Cup Noodle stitched together an anime ad with tennis superstar Naomi Osaka front and center. It was pretty cool, especially on account of it being drawn in the style of the Prince of Tennis. No harm done, right? Wrong. Nissin made a major faux pas when they animated Osaka's character with light skin, when she is in fact half Haitian, half Japanese. Naturally, this led many to accuse the company of whitewashing, prompting them to apologize and remove it. Number 4, redo of Healer. The fact this thing even got an adaptation in the first place is shocking enough. Then again, maybe the powers that be figured any sort of publicity was worth it.
これで何のためらいもなく、一切の容赦なく復讐できる。
Why is it so infamous? Well, it takes a typical revenge story and smothers it with every kind of violation imaginable. The main character, abused to the point of insanity before he's given the chance to travel back in time and take his revenge on those who wronged him. Which he does a lot, and we mean a lot.
ほら、チンチン。
This thing is built on shock value, but unlike its contemporaries, it kinda lacks the charm or substance to justify it. You do you, though.
俺の全てを奪った女、俺が地獄を味わった元凶、復讐の標的。
We can fly where you want to. We can leave your house behind. But if your friends don't mask, and why don't they mask? Well, they won't fly this airline.
You can fly if you want to, cause we do safety right. We have air that's clean and disinfectant machines zapping germs like an arcade space fight. And we dance to the dance, do the dance, have the filters cleaning commence. Alaska Safety Dance. Alaska Safety Dance.
Number 3, Uzaki-chan wants to hang out. Really, internet? Uzaki? The sassy waifu who never failed to make us laugh. She's the one you have a problem with.
冷たいこと言わないでくださいよ。それに先輩がいなきゃ意味ないんすよ。
Apparently, due to his small height combined with her titanic assets, many accuse the anime of sexualizing a minor. Of course, this is completely wrong, since it has been established on several occasions that she's 20 years old and a college student, who happens to be a bit on the shorter side.
いつも言ってんだろうが、いちいちでかい声で。
Thankfully, something good did come from this, as all the attention landed the show a second season. Good job.
先輩の家行くのはダメなんすか？
絶対ダメ。
即答された。
Number 2, The Promised Neverland Season 2. Talk about a fall from grace. The original season was utterly splendid in the way that it delivered its tension-filled tale about a group of orphans trying to escape their gruesome fates. It was honestly hypnotizing and stayed true to the original source material.
やったよ、ノーマン。外だ。出られた。
The same cannot be said of its sequel. The changes were barely noticeable at first, until Yugo and the entirety of Goldie Pond arc were revealed to be missing.
誰も住んでなさそうだね。
From there, it's just nosedived. By this point, there are so many arcs missing, it's clear they are trying to wrap everything up in one season, and fans are not happy about it.
走れ！あの森だ！走り続けろ！
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation.
わかってるじゃないか。
何？
パウロはクズ野郎だけど、なんだかんだ言って話が合う。
You have to feel sorry for those who dropped or haven't had a chance to watch the granddaddy of the isekai genre, because so far this thing is nothing short of magnificent. It does, however, have a main character who is an unapologetic pervert.
ルーデウス、あなたはもううちの子よ。
あれ？この人、俺のこと嫌ってたんじゃなかったっけ？
To the point where Chinese video sharing website Bilibili dropped it like a hot mess. While these days protagonists appear to be backing away from that kind of personality trait, in the property's defense, it is intrinsically tied to the story, demonstrating how Rudius is slowly bettering himself as a character.
今日は寂しい気持ちなので、エッチなことをしちゃうかもしれませんよ。ちょっとぐらいならいいわよ。
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from Watch Mojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.
Oh, let's see. I'm back, guys. Sorry to keep you waiting. Let's see. Ooh.
This might sound ridiculous considering they're all about death, destruction, and often severe bodily harm shown off in the most grotesque way possible, but horror is one of the most comforting genres, and that's because the movies themselves encourage you to come back to them over and over again. However, not every horror movie is built in this way. I'm Josh from WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 incredible horror movies you'll never watch again, and why. Number 10, Martyrs. Wasting no time with boring preamble, the audience is thrown straight into the horror as a woman named Lucy invades a family home and treats each member to a face full of buckshot. It's then explained that Lucy was kidnapped and imprisoned when she was younger and the family were responsible. However, after enacting her revenge, Lucy and her friend Anna are then attacked by a mutilated creature which stalks them through the house. In yet another switch, after this, Anna then finds herself kidnapped by the group the family belonged to and turned into a martyr, someone who enters the plane between life and death after being exposed to extreme torture, including having her skin flayed. As you can imagine then, it's not an easy movie to sit through. What cements multiple rewatches as unlikely though is this second half with Anna's torture. It is unrelenting, depressing, and with no happy ending in sight, it's a tough one to sit through twice. Number 9, Hagazusa. This old-timey witch tale follows Olbrin, a woman who grows up over the course of the movie living with the stigma of her family being labelled as witches. Whether or not that's true is kept a little vague, as while her mother was indeed into some strange stuff and lived a very private life away from civilization, a lot of her stranger behaviours could just be as easily explained by her increasing ill health and dementia. The movie expertly toes the line between what's reality and what's some kind of fever dream, dwelling on the character's terrifying visions of demonic presences. It's freaky and at all times unafraid to be as anti-Hollywood as possible. Of course, those strengths also make a second viewing unappealing. With little dialogue and a story that moves at a snail's pace, Hagazusa is a daunting movie to watch. Combine that with its oppressive atmosphere and a handful of disturbing sequences, especially involving younger people, and one time is enough. Number 8, Suspiria. When it comes to horror remakes, few are as weird as Suspiria 2018. In a lot of ways, it's intentionally the exact inverse of the original. Gone is the loud, theatrical score in favour of a weird, low-key indie soundtrack. The vibrant colours of the original have been thrown out for a muted, desaturated colour palette, and the brisk hour and 40-minute runtime has almost had another hour plonked on top of it. However, it's in those changes that the remake actually succeeds. This is a brand new take on the material, and through a focus on the characters, some jaw-dropping practical effects, and a slow-moving but methodical story, it's able to etch out its own confident identity. It's a great movie, and the mystery of this coven of witches running a ballet school builds to a ridiculously violent climax that brings new twists to the original story. The film can be maddeningly slow at times, and once you know the true motivations of the characters, it doesn't make for a totally engaging watch the second time through. Number 7, Inland Empire. David Lynch's last theatrical effort is the most David Lynch movie the director has ever made. His past work is well known for being challenging, weird, and sometimes downright bizarre to a fault, but all of them, with the exception of maybe Eraserhead, pale in comparison to how much of a sensory assault Inland Empire is. About an actress in Hollywood, played by Lynch staple Laura Dern, whose reality starts to blend with the movie she's making, the 3-hour-long flick is essentially one waking nightmare that, in dreamlike fashion, goes on huge tangents. You've got a weird short story about a domesticated family of rabbits in there, a phantom man who haunts hallways, and a bunch of other weird freaky scenes that barely make any sense. It works well to unsettle, don't get me wrong, but it's so impenetrable that you're not going to want to sit through all of it again. Let's just put it this way, it's described as an experimental film before it is a horror on websites for a reason. Number 6, The House That Jack Built. None of Lars von Trier's movies are what you'd call easy watching. His recent horror movie, though, The House That Jack Built, is perhaps his most button-pushing, explicit project yet. The story follows 12 years in the life of a serial killer, as he engages in a series of depraved murders, something which von Trier captures in all of their gory detail. Like Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer on steroids, the audience is spared none of the detail, including the murder of children and the explicit mutilation of the victims' bodies. For even die-hard horror fans, this is not an easy thing to sit through at all. Of course, while this does make for an effective, at times fascinating horror that's unafraid to delve into the twisted and self-aggrandizing psyche of the murderer, it's undeniably a grueling experience. Opting to spend another 2.5 hours trapped in the mind of a killer this brutal is a hard sell. Number 5, The Invitation. Following a man, Will, and his girlfriend attending a dinner party hosted by the guy's ex-wife, it's one of those rare movies where you genuinely have no idea where it's going. Though it starts off relatively harmonious, things take a turn when the dinner party is revealed to be a recruiting opportunity to join a cult-like group called The Invitation. Though they insist that it's just a group to help grieving people, there is the inkling that something more sinister is afoot, but the audience doesn't really know who to trust. Obviously, being duped into a cult pitch is not a great way to make a first impression, but Will is clearly shown to be dealing with his own demons after losing his son in a tragic accident. He's not the most trustworthy main character to follow, and the film is coy with who is the real danger in the situation and whether the story is going to opt for a more psychological or explicit outcome. It's a great ride to be on, but once the endgame is revealed and the climax answers your questions, it's kind of difficult
So what do you guys
to
want to watch
replicate
next?
the film's strong
If you don't mind me
mystery on a
asking,
rewatch.
just for
Info, threads. The
kill
movie,
some time
released
and
by
just,
the
like,
BBC
watching
in
YouTube videos
1984,
while I'm
was
trying.
essentially made to uncompromisingly show what would happen in the event of a nuclear apocalypse, a very real threat that haunted the minds of the public back then. What you get from this then is an unflinching, documentary-esque horror about a group of survivors in Sheffield enduring one horror after the other, as the initial nuclear explosive gives way to an ever-changing hostile world. It's the Britishness and mundanity of the characters and setting that makes the action so harrowing though, because this is as much an educational thing as it is a regular story. These aren't even your regular horror heroes. They're just random people, old, young, fit, ill, who endure some of the worst fates in the entire genre. There's a cold frankness to the despair on show that makes it even more unnerving. Number 3, Mother. About a nameless man played by Javier Bardem and a woman played by Jennifer Lawrence who invite an increasing amount of troubled guests into their new house. What begins as a tense dinner party gone wrong soon devolves into the literal apocalypse, as the house becomes the resting place of a cult intent on murdering and eating a child. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's ridiculous from top to bottom, but director Darren Aronofsky manages to make the waking nightmare work, and the escalating dread is felt by the audience as well as Jennifer Lawrence's hero. Not only is the movie incredibly graphic though, which makes a second viewing not all that appealing, but the dream logic and lack of answers on certain mysteries makes it a difficult film to analyze or appreciate outside of its thrilling, visceral surface level. It's a movie that very much wants you to sift through it to figure out the symbolism all for yourself, but with Aronofsky also pretty much just coming out in interviews and saying how it's all about God and religion, the fun of your own interpretations is kind of lost. Number 2, Dogtooth. Yorgos Lanthimos has made plenty of weird movies in his time, but the director's early effort, Dogtooth, might be his weirdest yet. Rather than delving into death curses or anything supernatural though, the horror of Dogtooth is strangely believable. It essentially covers what would happen if a parent never allowed their kids outside the house or taught them about the real world around them. Of course, this kind of isolation from the real world and the indulgence by the father especially of this fictional reality that he's constructed around the home does these kids no favors, who grow up as traumatized and dysfunctional as you'd imagine. Now this kind of scenario could have been played for laughs, but Dogtooth, while retaining some black humor, mostly plays it straight, highlighting every uncomfortable aspect of this warped family. From incest to animal murder, this thriller touches on every uncomfortable topic in the horror playbook. Because the whole thing is essentially child abuse the movie though, it's naturally not something you want to sit through more than once, if at all. Number 1, The Blair Witch Project. When it comes to the most influential movies in the genre, it doesn't get much bigger than The Blair Witch Project. While far from the first found footage movie, it was one of the first to fully embrace viral marketing and a then burgeoning internet culture. The success of Blair Witch then is as much about the format and the cultural conversation about it as it is the movie itself, as it was the mystique of what this film was and its supposed realism that drew in a massive crowd. The film itself is solid, don't get me wrong, but it does struggle decades later now that the found footage tropes it helped establish are, well, established. There have been so many flicks that have taken what it started and innovated in more entertaining ways. The phenomenon that was the Blair Witch Project is worth returning to, but the film itself, not so much. So that's our list. I want some of you guys think down in the comments below what you think about rewatching these movies, and are there any that you couldn't imagine yourself sitting through more than ones that I missed off here? Either way, while you're down there, could you give us a like, share, subscribe, and head over to whatculture.com for more lists and news like this every single day. Even if you don't though, I've been Josh, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.
Now let's see, what's next? Now, let's see. Horror facts that aren't actually true. Alright, let's see that.
The horror genre has created some of the most distinctive characters and striking imagery in the whole history of cinema. From Frankenstein screaming, "It's alive!" as his monster awakens, to Dracula rising from his coffin, to Leatherface dancing with his chainsaw. Even if you haven't seen the originals, images like this have been drilled into the minds of every cinephile. But despite these characters' legacy, there are a lot of misconceptions about their movies, and movie myths made reality that just aren't true. Sometimes that's because of the Mandela effect. We'll remember certain lines or moments incorrectly. Other times we see a character or scene and associate it with the wrong movie. Either way, we have to accept that there are some horror films we don't know as well as we thought. So let's put that right then, eh? I am the liar Ash from What Culture Horror, and these are 10 horror movie facts that aren't actually true. 10. Frankenstein had an assistant called Igor. The 1931 version of Frankenstein is so ingrained in our culture, nearly everyone knows the story. Dr. Frankenstein and his hunchbacked assistant Igor devise an experiment to revive the dead. However, their reanimated creature grows violent, causing the townspeople to hunt him down. There's just one minor problem with this plot summary. Frankenstein's assistant is called Fritz, not Igor. Even though he's been called Igor in other adaptations such as Van Helsing and Victor Frankenstein, and he literally got his own movie called Igor, there is no such character in the classic film. Igor, spelt with a Y, is a completely different character, an insane blacksmith who first appears in the second sequel, Son of Frankenstein. If you're wondering how this misunderstanding came to be, then you can blame Mel Brooks's Young Frankenstein. In the comedy classic, Frankenstein meets a hunchback with bulbous eyes called Igor as a play on his appearance. Because of this one gag, everyone assumed Igor, or Igor, was in the original film. 9. The original Wolfman turned into a werewolf during a full moon. The 1941 flick, The Wolfman, revolves around a man called Lawrence Talbot who is gradually turning into a werewolf. The movie was a smash hit and spawned a slew of sequels, crossovers and remakes, and of course it popularised werewolf mythos throughout the world. But there are a few misconceptions that even the biggest horror fans make about the movie. Even though it's usually known as the first werewolf movie, this isn't true. The 1913 horror The Werewolf is the first film about lycanthropy. You'd also naturally assume the Wolfman would have a scene where we see Talbot transform under the full moon. But we do not, as Talbot never becomes a werewolf under a full moon. In fact, the movie doesn't even have a shot of the full moon at all. Instead, we are told that Talbot morphs into a beast when the autumn moon is bright. This concept was then changed in the sequel, so Talbot changed when the moon is full and bright, and lo and behold, a myth was born. 8. Godzilla survived the events in the first film. Even after appearing in 35 films, the original Godzilla is still considered the best. For those of you that aren't up to date with the story, Godzilla is a prehistoric reptile that was encased in ice before he was exposed to radiation from a nuclear bomb. Not only did the radiation awaken him, it caused him to increase in size until he was as tall as the biggest skyscraper. As the tyrannical beast attacked Tokyo, the Japanese government scrambled to find a way to stop him. The original film concludes with the title monster being shredded down to his skeleton by an oxygen destroyer. But because Godzilla became a monster hit, Toho realized that to turn the story into a franchise and whipped out a sequel 9 months later. This means that the Godzilla in the original film is a completely different creature than the one who appears in the rest of the series, and our lovable mascot has actually been version 2.0 ever since. 7. Jason Voorhees always wore a hockey mask. The Friday the 13th franchise focuses on Jason Voorhees, a young boy who drowned in Crystal Lake. The lifeguards didn't save him because they were busy getting busy, causing Jason's mother, Pamela, to go insane and kill any teenagers coming to the camp and daring to do the pants dance. Jason's reanimated corpse appears in the climax for a few seconds, but he didn't become the main antagonist of the series until the sequel. In Friday the 13th Part 2, Jason went on a killing spree to avenge the death of his mother. Due to his unusual appearance, Jason hides his face with a sack. Now, Jason has a machete and that catchy theme song, but the filmmakers on the franchise knew he still needed a distinctive look to captivate viewers. While making Friday the 13th Part 3, the effects supervisor, Martin J. Sadoff, tried to find a cool mask for the series' recurring villain. Sadoff happened to keep a bag of hockey gear on set because, hey, who doesn't love hockey? I don't know. When he showed a Detroit Red Wings goalie mask to the director, he said it was perfect and agreed to use it for Jason's new look. And so, that is how we got the legend today. 6. The main villain in Hellraiser is called Pinhead. During the 1980s, Clive Barker was seen as the next big horror writer, even backed by horror royalty Stephen King. When his novel Rawhead Rex was adapted into a film, however, he was furious with how badly it turned out. As a result, he wrote a story called The Hellbound Heart, which he himself adapted 1 year later into the film Hellraiser. Barker knew the film could only work if it had a standout villain, and thus he created the most iconic character of his career, the lead Cenobite, an extra-dimensional entity who is powered by hell and gleefully obsessed with torture. There was just one problem. Everyone gets the character's name wrong. Although he is credited as the lead Cenobite, viewers didn't know what to call him because his name is never uttered in the film. Because his face is covered in nails, fans started calling him Pinhead, but Barker detested this term, stating it was undignified. In Hellraiser 3, the lead Cenobite was officially referred to as Pinhead for the first time. But that is only because by that point, Barker just gave up and let viewers call him whatever the hell they wanted. 5. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is based on a true story. In the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, a group of teenagers encounter a chainsaw-wielding cannibal called Leatherface who has a nasty habit of wearing masks crafted from his victims' faces. But what makes the premise even scarier is how it's supposedly based on a true story. To highlight this claim, the film's poster reads, "It happened." When the movie begins, the opening crawl reads like a news report, indicating further that the events in the story genuinely took place. For years, there were urban legends that the grisly murders depicted in the film actually took place in Poth near San Antonio. But in reality, the only part of the story that has a semblance of truth is the villain, Leatherface, who is very loosely based on the killer, Ed Gein. Even that is misleading though, since Gein wasn't a cannibal and he never murdered his victims with a chainsaw. The only traits of Gein that were incorporated into Leatherface were how he turned human faces into masks and decorated his house with body parts. 4. Alfred Hitchcock was a horror director. Ask anyone to name a famous horror director and the same names always come up. Wes Craven, George A. Romero, Ari Aster, Tobe Hooper, and of course, who could forget about the master of suspense himself, Alfred Hitchcock. But there's one teeny weeny problem. Alfred Hitchcock was not a horror director. Hitchcock spent over half a century making psychological thrillers like Strangers on a Train, Vertigo, Shadow of Doubt, Rope, North by Northwest, Lifeboat, Dial M for Murder, and Rear Window. I mean, imagine if Steven Spielberg was only known for making scary movies because he directed Jaws and then Jurassic Park. Although those films can be categorized as horror, and especially Jurassic Park, which is very scary for what's supposed to be just a nice dinosaur movie for kids, they only make up a small amount of Spielberg's diverse repertoire. Because Psycho was his most successful and highly praised film, and it was followed up by his only other true horror flick, The Birds, Hitchcock has been permanently stuck with the inaccurate label of a horror director. 3. The Blair Witch Project was the first found footage horror. The Blair Witch Project was directly responsible for popularizing found footage horror. Considering the fake documentary,
I never knew why my energy bill was so high.
We always look forward to summer, minus the energy bill.
Then I found an easy way to earn money, and all I had to do was save a little energy.
OwnConnect is a free service that pays you to save energy at home.
I've already made $54.
$70.
$122.
It's an hour out of our day when we can spend time as a family, save energy, and get a little money for doing it.
It was so easy to set up, save energy, and get paid.
God, it's so quiet today. What is everyone doing right now? It's only been an hour now.
He made over $4,000 for every $1 put into it. Directors realized they could earn a fortune by making similarly styled films with a dirt cheap budget. The Blair Witch Project appeared so authentic, many viewers assumed it was genuine, with even the parents of the victims receiving sympathy cards as a result. Because of its influence, the Blair Witch Project is often hailed as the first found footage horror film. And whilst yes, it is the granddaddy of this genre in popularizing it, it was not the very first. Cannibal Holocaust, which was released in 1980, is really regarded as the beginning. In this, air quotes, true story, a film crew tried to record a docudrama about a tribe of Amazonian cannibals, which goes about as well as you'd expect. Again, people were so convinced it was the real deal, director Agara Diodato was brought to court for murder since he didn't stop the slaughter of the victims. The actors had to show up in court to prove that they were very much alive. Outside of horror, a 1961 movie titled The Connection also boasts this found footage technique. So whilst Cannibal Holocaust might have competition on being number one, it is safe to say that the Blair Witch Project is not top dog in this race. 2. Boris Karloff's Mummy was covered in bandages. The Mummy was not the first mummy film, but it was Boris Karloff's version which popularized the idea of resurrecting a mummified corpse into a supernatural deadly force. Even though the mummy is one of the easiest characters to recognize, he looks nothing like how you'd imagine in the 1932 film. When he's resurrected and up and about, he wears normal clothes and a fez. Also, he doesn't act like a mindless zombie. He's intelligent, articulate, and calculating. At no point is he depicted like a brainless brute shuffling towards his victims covered in bandages. Yes, he has a few on after he's cracked out of his coffin, but after that, no way, man. The first film to have a killer mummy draped in bandages was The Mummy's Hand, which was released 8 years later. Because this version of the Egyptian killer had a more striking appearance, it wasn't long before every mummy film had the main villain donned in bandages. 1. Everything about Bela Lugosi's Dracula. As we all know, Bram Stoker's novel Dracula was so groundbreaking the title character has been adapted into countless movies over the last century. But the most famous version of all time is the 1931 film Dracula, with Bela Lugosi depicting the vampire. It was this film that made many concepts that are now synonymous with Dracula, including his unblinking eyes, his calm demeanor, his hypnotic powers, and his vulnerability to crosses and wooden stakes. However, there are many traits that people associate with Dracula that just don't happen in this film. At no point in this movie does Dracula display fangs or transform into a bat. There is no shot of a neck bite, and Dracula never says, "I want to suck your blood," even though this line has been parodied up teen times. On top of that, this isn't even the first vampire movie. It's not even the first Dracula movie. 1909's Vampire of the Coast was actually the first vampire film, and 1921's Dracula Death was the first film to depict Dracula himself. And that's our list. Which of these horror movie facts most surprised you? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. I've been Ash over on social media at Ash Millman, and this has been What Culture. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and come back again soon for some more spine-tingling horror content. Thanks for watching.
something around you is making you sick.
I don't want to ruin this.
I want to be connected to you forever. Who are you?
I don't know.
Let's get this party started.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Paramount Plus. This is strokes of genius, beautiful games, and one shining moment. This is Defenders, Investigators, and
7 strangers picked to live in a house.
This is Young SpongeBob, Young Sheldon, and younger. This is everything you've been looking for.
That's gonna leave a mark.
Live sports, breaking news, and a mountain of entertainment.
All right.
This is Paramount Plus, now streaming.
Alright, I'm back, guys. So, let's see. Underrated, more dirty. Alright.
Most film fans love a good horror movie, and even more love the rare, actually good horror comedy. Both genres are well loved for their ability to work a reaction out of an audience, and we all know that the perfect marriage of scares and laughs makes for some of the best and most beloved movies in the subgenre. Really though, when you think about it, this only makes it all the more weird that there are almost no good horror spoofs. And I'm not talking spoof in the vein of meta-horror comedies like The Cabin in the Woods or Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. We're talking Scary Movie and Young Frankenstein, the films that take the horror formula and poke fun at it whilst also following it to a T. And aside from those two heavy hitters, the pool of good parodies is alarmingly shallow. But hey, that is what this list is here for, right? Many movies on this list are corny, outdated, and outright cheesy. But they are nonetheless some of the biggest underdog horror spoofs ever, despite, and let's be real, because of, these flaws. I am the mockery of Ash from What Culture Horror, and these are 10 underrated horror movie parodies. 10. Slice. An A24 release, this scrappy indie is stylish and slick, and there are plenty of laughs to be had during its proper goofy story.
Right now?
The convoluted tale of a misunderstood werewolf played by Chance the Rapper, Slice also bounces between dark social satire and more over-the-top, silly humour befitting a sketch show. In the course of its ultimately pointless plot, this underrated film manages to satirise gentrification whilst parodying ghost movies, werewolf films, and cop flicks in the process. An impressive feat by any measure. It's filled with silly moments that make the occasional satirical stabs all the more surprisingly sharp. And a stellar supporting cast including Zazie Beetz, Paul Shear, and Stranger Things' Joe Keery ensures that this oddball spoof is a winner. It is one not to be missed by fans of horror, comedy, and satires of gentrification. No, really, it is good. It is good. 9. Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. Probably the best known pick on this list, and admittedly the only one to push the definition of true blue spoof, Tucker and Dale remains crazy overrated despite winning over more than its fair share of cult admirers since its 2010 release. This still underseen film flips the script on the hillbillies vs. teens horror of Wrong Turn, The Hills Have Eyes, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre with an ingenious premise. Here, the hillbillies are the misunderstood heroes of the film, a lovable pair who simply want to refurbish a nice cabin in the woods and accidentally come across as monsters due to a string of absurdly unlikely misunderstandings. It's a zany, over-the-top premise and one the film mines for endless laps. But it's the superb chemistry between leads Tyler Labine and Alan Tudyk and love interest Katrina Bowden that make this one an unmissable horror comedy, which makes fun of enough genre conventions and is sufficiently outlandish enough to be called a spoof. 8. Club Dread. Released in 2004, comedy troupe Broken Lizard made a slasher parody called Club Dread.
We source the coffee beans in your cup from farmers, like Kevin. Changes to the environment are causing diseases like coffee leaf rust that are making it harder for these farmers to grow coffee. One way we're helping is donating 100 million healthy coffee trees to farmers by 2025. The trees we donate are disease-resistant, produce more coffee cherries, and help farms thrive. Each tree represents how we're investing in farmers and making a positive impact in their community.
And it never quite got the level of love it deserves. The goofy spoof sees the troupe's members play the owners, operators, and guests of a trashy island resort who are offed one by one when a mass killer surfaces amongst their number. One of the more impressively gross of the flicks listed here, Club Dread epitomises everything good and bad about early noughties comedy. The performances are over the top, the gags are grosser than even the Farrelly brothers would approve of, and there's an endless stream of silly sequences and comically gory kills to keep momentum going. Sure, this is one of the more hit-or-miss entries listed here, but it's a time capsule to an era when zany improv was considered the height of comedy and no joke was too dumb to throw in, including 4 or 5 consecutive different death scenes for one unfortunate character. 7. Monster in the Closet. Monster in the Closet may not be the best film on this list, but it does have one of the most notable alumni. A cheesy teen horror from 1986, this one features the film debut of one Paul Walker as a gadget-obsessed whiz kid who helps ensnare the titular monster. Released by cult heroes Troma Entertainment, this light-hearted film sees Walker's kid genius and a crew of assorted oddballs attempting to take down their classic creature feature-style monster plaguing their apartment building and later the entire city. In classic spoof fashion, the jokes come thick and fast, if not necessarily flawlessly written. This one definitely subscribes to the "they're not all good, but there's plenty of them" school of comedy that makes for a charming viewing experience, particularly for fans of monster movies who have always wanted some fun poked at their preferred horror subgenre. 6. Pandemonium. Released in the early 80s, Pandemonium is a slasher spoof which aims to ape the style of the phenomenally popular Airplane. This horror parody epitomises the throw in every joke and see what sticks approach of early 80s spoofs, racking up countless gags in its short runtime. In Pandemonium, the performers don't play the parody deadpan, but instead end up mugging to the camera and goofing off with every line. Despite this, the film's constant stream of jokes ensures it wins over even the most stubbornly unsmiling viewer, as there's only so much sheer absurdity you can endure before you have to laugh. Though the film's plot follows a string of mysterious killings, all manner of flashbacks and diversions ensure the movie has room to parody the likes of Carrie as well as slasher horrors. 5. Wacko. Similar to Pandemonium, this spoof was intended to be a raunchy take on slasher movies. And like Pandemonium again, it is a silly, cheesy, deeply dated success. With a pumpkin-headed killer declaring death to all teenagers who fuck, and a detective walking around with a briefcase full of coffee, there is no doubting that this is one of the cruder offerings listed here. But like the later Scary Movie, there is an undeniable charm to the film's ball-to-the-wall persistence, with each scene flying in the face of good taste as it scrambles to cram as many often lame gags into each frame as possible. Silly, raunchy, and incredibly of its time, this goofy spoof is worth a watch for slasher fans and parody film completionists. 4. National Lampoon's Class Reunion. Released in 1982, National Lampoon's Class Reunion was the third feature film to come from the Mad Magazine-style humour journal. Unlike John Landis's widely beloved instant classic Animal House though, this one didn't win over many critics. Following a script written by John Hughes, this spoof is tasteless, silly, draggy, and a dumb fun good time. Following a group of universally unlikable high school grads who reunite only to be picked off one by one, this one takes obvious inspiration from the likes of Prom Night, Final Exam, and The Dorm That Dripped Blood. But a zany tone that feels like the Rocky Horror Picture Show ensures that it's surprisingly fun and messy. And it doesn't hurt that the film features a singularly surreal performance from cult hero Blackie Dammit, who is also, oddly, the father of the Red Hot Chili Peppers frontman. 3. Dude Bro Party Massacre 3. Dude Bro Party Massacre 3 brings together a slew of internet comedy icons for its surreal, meta-slasher parody plot. The film follows the misadventures of some college students who are picked off one by one by a monstrous mass murderer. Not only filmed in grainy VHS vision, the action is also often interrupted by commercial breaks and interruptions to give that feeling of a well-worn TV recording. This ambitious parody manages to spoof the long-running slasher franchises of the 80s by skipping to the second sequel, messing with a cast of moronic frat bros. The humour is constant and increasingly surreal as the film wears on, with some truly inspired lunacy cropping up by the time characters walk so far that they wander out of the film's reality, or minor villains are revealed to be piles of oranges. It's just that sort of movie. 2. Student Bodies. A rare appearance for the name Alan Smithy on a best of anything list, 1981's Student Bodies is a horror parody which director Mickey Rose opted to disown prior to its release. This earned the film the infamous fake director credit, but honestly it is hard to see why Rose felt compelled to drop the movie from his CV. This slasher parody provided the blueprint for Scary Movie in its self-referential humour, and features a constant reel of gags ranging from ingenious to moronic, all of which make for an inventive and underrated watch. A thin plot follows slasher conventions to a T as some dim-witted teens are picked off by a mass killer, but it's the clever jokes that make this one memorable. Take the scene where a producer steps in to start swearing the film's way to an R rating upon realising there's not enough blood and guts to warrant one. Apparently, viewers hated family-friendly horror even back in the early 80s. 1. Shriek If You Know What I Did Last Friday the 13th. Sillier, broader, and more anarchically weird than Scary Movie, Shriek If You Know What I Did Last Friday the 13th is a classic, you'll know it by the title movie. As in, if that title didn't bring a smile to your slasher fan face, then this one probably isn't for you. Otherwise, horror fans need to seek out this underseen spoof, which was not only as funny as the Wayans brothers' mega hit, but is as underrated as the same year's Not Another Teen Movie. Written off as a mindless spoof by critics, this one is actually full of the odd, surreal, and occasionally cringeworthy invention that made Dude Bro Party Massacre 3 such a solid parody. Taking aim at the meta revival, this film eventually descends into such bizarre mayhem that it leaves a thinly veiled parody of Scream's video store nerd Randy explaining the rules to surviving a parody movie. And that's our list. What other horror movie parodies belong on this list? Share your thoughts in the comment section below.
What should I watch next?
I can't believe how much I hate everything.
Hi, Dan. I just moved in next door. I'm a supermodel.
I don't care who the IRS sends, I am not paying taxes.
Ooh.
No!
You bruised my banana.
Okay. 5:38.
5:38?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're supposed to be starting to do...
All right. Well, I guess I'm going to call it